Hey guys, today I'm going to be melting down some lead, making some sinkers, and I just wanted to share with you what you need to get started. There's really nothing to it, and you can save a ton of money. So here's what you need to get started, guys. You need a sinker mode of your choice. This is a bank sinker mode. It does 2, 3, 4, and 5 ounce. You can pick these up at barlowstackle.com. They got several different kinds. I think they run around $33 and some change. And then you need something to melt your lead in. This is just what they call a hot pot. It's just got a heating element in the bottom of it, and you pour straight out of the pot. You could use a cast iron pot and a ladle or something similar to that if you want to save some money. But these are pretty handy just because you don't have to use a burner, propane burner or anything. You can just plug them straight into the wall. The lead I'm going to be melting today is just old wheel weights, nothing special. They're nasty. They stink when you melt them down. There's paint on some of them that burns off, but you can get them really cheap or sometimes even free. I had a guy give me 2 5-gallon buckets full of these, so that's what I'm going to be using for a while. But if you're worried about where to find lead, just go to your scrap yard. Sometimes scrap yards will sell scrap lead, or you can go to some local tire shops and try to buy some of these, or like I said, they might even give them to you just to get them out of their way. So let's get started, guys. We're going to go ahead and plug our pot up here. We're just going to plug it up and get the cord out of the way. That way we don't trip over it. Pour hot lead all over us. And then we're just going to throw some weights in the pot here. Don't want to put too many and overrun your pot once they melt. That could be bad. There's several different kinds of these weights. Some of the stick-on kind. And they're not all going to be lead. You'll run into some that are steel. Here's a steel one right here. They look a little different. Some of them I think are zinc. But the best way to tell if they're lead or not, if you're not sure by looking at it, take a pair of side cutters. Just cut the corner off. You're not going to be able to do that if it's steel. But that lead's real soft and you can cut it. So we got our pot loaded down with some wheel weights. It'll take 10 to 15 minutes to get those liquefied. And then we'll be ready to start pouring. And anytime you're messing with molten lead, you want to keep safety in mind. You want to be sure your eyes are protected. If one drop of sweat dripped off of me into that pot, it could blow lead all over me. You know, my skin is most likely going to heal, and I won't. Nobody wants to be blind. So keep those eyes covered up. Also, ventilation is real important. Lead puts off a lot of toxins. And also all the grease and paint stuff on these wheel weights is going to be burning off, and it smells real bad. You got to make sure you got good ventilation. Preferably outside, but if you're going to be in a shop, you can see I'm in a shop right here, but I got 2 big bay doors opened up and I got a fan blowing on me. That way it's blowing all this stuff outside and I'm not breathing it. While we're waiting on our lead to melt down, I'll show you a couple tricks on these bank sinkers. Now you can do a lot of different things with them. I'll drag bottom with them. I'll use a dropper loop on a 3-way rig a lot of times. But most of the time I'm using these sinker slides. But the problem is, let me see if I can find one I haven't drilled yet. That one's been drilled. Yeah, there's one. The sinker slide won't fit through that hole the way they are when they come out of the mold. So I'll just take me an 1/8 inch drill bit. It's lead, so it's super soft. Just run it through there. Oh, my bit fell out. Now your sinker slide will go right in there. If 5 ounces isn't enough, and you've only got a mold that goes up to 5, you can throw you another 5 on there and have a 10. And you also get a no-roll effect out of that, because it can't turn on that sinker slide. Alright, so it's been about 10-15 minutes, and we've got all our weights melted down. You can see all that sludge and all the clips, and all your impurities are going to float, and we're just going to scoop them off the top. Just using the old spoon. Don't want to eat your ice cream with that tonight after doing this, but just get all that junk off. And it's going to be hot, so. And what you're going to be left with is clean lead. Maybe not clean lead, but clean enough to make sinkers out of anyway. Now, one thing I forgot to do, I like to lay my mold on my pot as it's heating up. That way it preheats my mold. But I forgot to do it. So I'm gonna be preheating it with a torch. But you don't have to have a torch to do this. Just lay your mold on your pot and that'll preheat it for you. And the only reason you want to preheat it is because if you pour it in cold, a lot of times your lead will set up in these little holes. Before it has a chance to go down in them, it'll block your hole. But I'm just going to preheat it. You don't want to get it too hot to where it's burning the handles off. But okay, it should be good. So we got our mold preheated, we got our lead cleaned up, and now we're ready to pour. Let's see a little bit more in there I'm gonna get out. So yeah, I'm gonna be pouring 3s, 4s, and 5s today. That's what I need. So here we go. I just lean that little pot up against the side of the mold. You just want to pour a steady stream in there. You don't want to go too fast or you'll run it over on your hand. As you can see, I got a glove on. It's a good idea to wear a glove. That's all there is to it. Now, depending on how hot your mold is, determines on how long you're going to have to let it set after you pour it. We'll normally let it set probably 15-20 seconds or so is normally what I do. All right, and then we're going to open our mold. And then we're going to knock our sinkers out. And that's all there is to it. You can see you got a little extra on there from where we poured it. That's hot. We're just going to grab that, cut it off. And then throw that extra, if you can pick it up, throw it back in the pot. And there you go, you got a perfect sinker. I like to trim them up after I get them, after they cool down. Another tip, guys, never pour all the lead out of your pot until you're done. Because if you empty that pot, you're gonna have to wait another 10 minutes on lead to melt. But if you just keep feeding it lead in between pours, it'll melt almost instantly. Okay, so now that that's all melted, we're gonna get our trash out. We might scrape the pot a little bit to get a little bit off the sides. Here we go again, guys. That's it. You ready to go again? So that's it, guys. It's really that easy. So I hope you got something out of the video today. Like I said, super cheap, super easy, but very effective, and it's even kind of fun, in my opinion, turning old junk wheel weights into something useful.